tell you what, it's bloody heavy as well. So a few years ago I really got into looking into recycling stuff for the allotment, and I decided to use tyres, as you're probably very aware from my videos, and then I discovered the tyres are really bad. Anyway, some point a couple of years ago I got myself a tractor tyre thinking that will make a really good raised bed. But now I need to get rid of it, and rightly so, because it shouldn't be on the allotment. Unfortunately, it won't fit in my car, and I need to chop it in half to get it in the car. But unfortunately, in order to get to my grandparents' house, I had to push it all the way along here. I've got to push it 200, 300 yards away from my grandparents' house to bring it all the way back down. So, word of warning, don't get tyres for your allotment. And if you want to know why, I'll tell you in a bit.
One eternity later.
Hey folks, just out taking my tyre for a walk. Getting its daily exercise in. Do you like to walk my tyre? It's actually easier than I thought because it's downhill. Bit of a winner actually. I forgot it was slightly downhill, so I just got to basically stop it falling over. Right, let's get back into tyres, shall we? Well, not literally back into tyres, but you know what I mean. So yeah, on my main channel, or my vlog channel, Grow Your Own Life, my most popular video on there is about how you shouldn't grow food in tyres. I've now since changed my opinion that you shouldn't grow anything in tyres. And I will put a link below to this video and check it out, because I go into a bit more depth. But basically tyres are bad, really bad for your garden, and they're not. I know you still stumble across the odd video online about how they can be recycled and you can grow things in them or just grow flowers in them, but don't. And actually more recently, the more I've looked into it, there's actually scientific studies now that show how they can actually pollute flowers and then affect bees and other pollinators. And I actually had a few good comments that led me to those sources in that video. So please, if you're interested in the geeky stuff like that, check that video out, the link's below. But as this is a new channel and as it's trying to, there might be a few new people involved who have not seen the old video. Don't use tyres as a way of upcycling and growing your food or your flowers, because tyres are bad. Tyres are really bad. Anyway, let's get back to a bit of a garden tour, shall we? Spring is sadly coming to an end. The last of the daffodils and stuff are starting to die off, but the potato towers, they are looking well, and all the calendula and other little bits and pieces that I've sprinkled in there, they're growing too. So hopefully we'll have a nice ornamental veg tower. I don't know what I'm going to call that. Think of a name for it. Part veg, part flower. It'll be nice anyway. Everything's coming on, but I don't know about you. I'm really struggling with the watering this year, because obviously this is ridiculously hot, and I know there's a lot of people saying how wonderful it is to have, you know, this great weather, and it is, it's lovely, but we're not getting the water. We are not getting the water, and this is an abnormal spring for the UK. Yeah, it's lovely for sitting in your garden and drinking a few beers, and I'm taking full advantage of that, I can tell you, but it's not quite right. And I do feel for the farmers and anyone who's actually got to eke out a living out of this, because yeah, I think it could be a good year, but it could be a bit of a struggle water-wise if it keeps going like this. I mean, I was looking at about 28 degrees the other day, and that was obviously early May in the UK. And even, excuse me, even some of my seedlings are just really struggling. These little yogurt pots that I get from Aldi, that they help keep some moisture in some, but my sweet corn seedlings that were started early, they have been scorched now twice, and I really don't put much hope in them. And the lettuce, I'm really struggling in this heat to get lettuce to go. I'm gonna have to, I don't know, maybe buy some. I don't know. No, I'm gonna keep persevering with my lettuce, but I'm not having much luck with the lazy lettuce sowings this year. I must double my efforts. And sadly, it looks like the Christmas tree has given way to the ghost. It needed potting on this year, and we had a couple of frosts and then a couple of really hot days, and I just don't think it's liked it. These are the sweet corns that I was talking about. Yeah, they look okay, and I've got more pumpkins coming in there. But yeah, I feel for the Christmas tree. We've had them a few years now, or her, and we've potted it on now. Fingers crossed for it, fingers crossed. But I think it's just had a bit of a rough time. Hot, cold, hot, cold. Anyway, the polytunnel's looking good. Kale's going nuts. Sunflowers, marigolds, everything like that is popping up now. And I'm just obviously really concerned about these frosts that we might get. And the indoor strawberries, they're looking, when I say indoor strawberries, the strawberries in the polytunnel, they're looking really good. They're indoor to me, the polytunnel. Yeah, and I've even popped out a couple of tomatoes, and they seem to be doing all right, although it is quite sheltered in this corner. And it has to get pretty cold because of the houses nearby for us to get a frost in this bit of the garden. Obviously the allotment's completely different because it's open for the elements, and we have had a frost down there recently, and a couple of plot holders have told me that they've lost a few things. Thankfully I haven't put my beans and stuff out yet. I've just been prepping for my beans, so fingers crossed they'll be alright. They're out in my garden and we've had no frost, but I know, like I said, there's definitely been a frost down the allotment. Had I put them out sooner, I probably would have lost them like everyone else. And there's one of the robins. Yes, the robin is still in the greenhouse and nesting, although I'm a bit concerned because of the heat we've had, whether their nest will still be viable because it's been ridiculously warm. And they obviously picked a greenhouse to nest in, which probably wasn't the best, and they've picked a black container too, and I just wonder if the eggs are viable. I really do. I feel for it because it's going backwards and forwards and it's doing a really good job, but it must be really hard work in this heat. So fingers crossed we do hear some chicks at some point, but I don't know. I've done my best to put shade up for it as well, but there's not much else I can do. And I don't know what you think about my bean pylon. Yeah, that was my bean pylon. Yeah, we'll see how that develops over the year, but I've got an idea for that. But yeah, it's so far so good. As I've said, it's been a warm season, and things are going nicely. Something's good, something's bad, but I'm enjoying it, and plenty of opportunity to sit out in the garden and drink tea, eat toast, and have a cheeky beer, and watch the birds. And isn't it funny how bird watching sneaks up on you the older you get?
Maybe some younger families have moved out of London. And they have, in the general election and potentially in these council elections too, been leaving the Conservatives and going towards the Lib Dems.
And here we have the humble blackbird. Just watch this magnificent ballet as he negotiates a freshly dug allotment, clearly taking the advantage of the free worms that have been disturbed. in this previous no-dig environment. But what's this? As it keeps a watchful eye on the skies above, we notice it's not alone. In swoops a predatory jackdaw. It seeks to take advantage of the blackbird's endeavours and hoover up all the worms. But as you see, this jackdaw might be magnificent, but he's a lazy little weasel, because he won't do any digging himself, will he? He parades across the freshly dug earth with an arrogance. This is his, and although he's not willing to work for it, he will not share it with others. He is looking for an opportunity. Any slug, snail or worm that hasn't been quick enough to dive for cover. Dive for cover? Isn't it funny how my accent changed right then? I don't know why I went Irish all of a sudden. I don't know. Or maybe I should continue the rest of this video in Irish accent. Here she is, the humble little blackbird. She's watching from under the wheelbarrow there, as you see. And he goes off down the road, he does. Off he goes, off to mischief. And there she comes out of the traps, and there she is, back at it. I don't know why I'm misgendering her, because we should all know by now that blackbirds, if they're black, they're males. Yes, the female blackbird is more of a browny motley colour, as are the chicks. But here she is, misgendering her again. Here he is, walking out to collect as many worms as possible to take back to his nest, I presume. Not quite sure if this is a good Irish accent or a bad Irish accent, but I'm thinking about leaving it in anyway, just to see how it goes. Anyway, from David Attenborough to Seamus O'Feeney from Cork, I bid you good day and enjoy the rest of the blackbird. Take care. God bless.